Hey, I hope you're doing well today. And today I want to show you a little hidden gem that really no one is talking about in the n8n community. So let's get into it. So in this case, we're actually going to be talking about the memory of the AI agent, okay? And this shouldn't be taken lightly at all, okay? It is extremely powerful. This little guy right here, or girl, could be a girl too, but this thing right here is extremely powerful, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why. So we'll jump over to Excalidraw. All right, now, why is Zep so powerful? Well, the thing is, and the big problem about running your agents and running, your simple memory or even Postgres is that you don't want your agents to have that goldfish brain where it's just forgetting things, forget what to do in the next 10 messages or so. Right? This is just causing inconsistencies, reliability issues, and really, who wants that? Okay? You want your agents to be getting smarter, not just, going with the flow, and hopefully it's in a good mood today. Okay? So we can see here, we're avoiding the goldfish brain and agent, okay? Where it's just forgetting things and doesn't know how to do it properly. Now, when it's recalling messages as well, it's not just recalling them as if we're using like a context window where it's just, oh, he said this 5 messages ago. No, it's actually understanding the meaning behind those messages as well. Okay, so this is a bit different to just recalling something that I said 5 messages, 10 messages ago. Well, it might even forget by then. Okay, now what this is doing though is helping you build smarter AI agents, because over time, as you use them more, you're chatting with them, you're talking to them, it's going to understand how you are and what you like as well. This allows you to kind of train it and have it learn and become like a self-learning agent as well. And we can see here as well in the latest studies that Zep actually performed and blew everything out of the water. Okay, so GPT was another contender here as well, which is also very, very good. But even just using the model of GPT-4 Mini, it received a 98.2% of deep memory retrieval. So of course, it's a very high percentage, but this is excellent for us who are building AI agents. This is exactly what we want to see. Now, if you do want to see that study, I'll have it in the description down below as well. Okay, so it is a bit of a read, but it's very interesting if you are into this kind of stuff as well. Okay, so how is this all working? Well, Zep uses something called semantic search. Okay, now semantic search is like having like a librarian. Okay, so let's say we ask the librarian and we just say something like vacation. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily only think of the word vacation. It also thinks of, okay, possibly beaches, right? We have holidays, we have tours, everything in relation to vacation as opposed to just a hard-coded word of only vacation in itself. And this is really important because we might not say the exact same thing every time, but if it can understand the meaning behind the words and the several different variations of the possibilities of what you're querying this agent at the time, this can be very, very useful. Another one here is automatic summarization. Okay, so this is like, imagine you had an assistant that was just always listening, and it somehow had like a person, right? And it had a photographic memory, and it just, completely memorized the whole conversation that you had for like the whole day or the whole week or however the hell long it was, right? And this is essentially what is happening here. So our agent and the memory is just always able to listen and to understand and then deliver the key details of those long blocks of text or whatever the hell, you send to it. And then we have entity extraction. Okay, so think about this like having a highlighter. Okay, so when you get a highlighter, you might highlight over a few words in a paragraph, and this is the key part here, that's the key part there. Same exact thing going on here as well. Okay, so this might be for things like names, or it could be for places, or we could have just specifics in general. So looking at this dumb little story that I made here, it might go through this and think, okay, well, Jane is a name. Okay, I'll recall that. Had a wonderful day in Spain. I'll recall that. Where she met her first love. Maybe I'll recall that too. A man of mystery, but full of kindness. And this is allowing it to extract the key elements from the text that you're sending or the queries that you're sending. And it's going to be very important for your agent to, understand and learn over time with all these specific details. And then we have messages versus facts distinction. So messages is just like having a whole transcript of the conversation. right? The facts distinction are like important rules or key takeaways. So this is like a sticky note here, okay, with rules to remind it, and it takes a form of priority as well. So it might be things like his name is Ken, which is me, okay? He makes YouTube videos, things like that. Now, as an example, in the real world, that might be like a pin note, something that we can visibly see. So it kind of, we don't want to miss it. And this is exactly what's happening here as well. And now I'm going to show you how this is all working with a graph as well. And this is actually happening live if you're speaking with your agents, okay? So we can see right here as well. All I've done here is that I've told my agent here that I want to be called Master Ken, okay? So that takes a form of priority here as well. Okay, there's a facts distinction right there. This is Master Ken. That's what he wants to be called by. Now, Master Ken also is from Australia. It understands this as well. He runs a school community, right? He has a YouTube channel as well and a Jack Russell dog. Now, my Jack Russell dog has actually already passed away, but we can actually see that in here as well. It's actually noted it down that my Jack Russell dog has passed away. Now, I mentioned to my agent that my dad is on vacation as well. This has also been stored. So we can see my dad is right here. He's on vacation in Indonesia. And I also wanted it to respond in clear and easy to read responses. So it's actually built kind of like a knowledge or a bit behavioral section as well. Okay, so if we actually turn our head, and break our necks, we can actually read it as well. So we have has communication preferences, requests. Okay, so it's a request from me, prefers, confirms, preference. Okay, and then it's coming straight down to a clear and easy to read responses. So all of this is being utilized every time I'm talking with my agent. Now, this is very simple, right? This is from a few messages, but I want you to think now, what happens after 100 messages? What happens after 5,000? You see, this actual relationship graph grows, right? So it's not going to be this tiny little thing like this. We're going to be getting a huge thing like this here. All right, so we can see how all of these are connecting and everything, but let's see it run in real time as well. So I'm going to jump over back to my agent. Okay, and I'm just going to send it a simple query. I'm just going to say, I'm thinking of moving to Bali soon and starting some more businesses because I love business and eating spicy food. Let's say that. Okay, we'll let it run through the process. And there we go. Okay, so it gives a little response. Nothing fantastic. By the way, I don't really have a system prompt in here either. It's just you are a helpful assistant. And straight away, we can see right here that I have in the red here that it has business ventures, right? We're going to Bali over here. He likes spicy food. Now, just to let you know as well, the green is the user. So that's me. So it's actually noted me down as Master Ken as the user in green. The entities are in this pink or red color, and the preferences, okay? So the things I like, the things I want, the things I need, the specifics, kind of, based on what I'm after are in the blue. Okay, so we can see that all made up, straight away by this memory node as well. Okay, as simple as that. Now, can you imagine if we start really using this for a long time, where we're using this over the course of a month, a year, however the hell long we want to use it, right? With several messages. This actual graph is going to be enormous and all connected and linked together as well. So this is how you're going to start making agents which are going to be so much more powerful than your standard agents in n8n, using a simple node and a simple little trick just like this. So if you are interested in using it as well, I'll show you how to get it set up really quickly. So all we're going to do is we're going to jump over back to n8n. Okay, so we'll just delete this one. Okay, we'll go to memory. We'll click on Zep. Now you see here that we have a JSON.session ID. So this is essentially generating a new session ID based on, our chat. So if we actually cleared the chat, it would actually create a new session ID and actually wouldn't have like that relationship graph or that previous context and all those, memories, right? But what we can do here is actually just hard code a session ID. Okay, so we might just call it like Ken's memory. Okay, what that's going to do is actually save that in Zep as Ken's memory, which is going to be accessed every single time by this agent. Right? So it's not going to go from one memory to the next tomorrow, to the next tomorrow, to the next tomorrow. It's always going to be using Ken's memory. Now, in terms of the API, this is where it gets really simple too. So yeah, we create a new credential. Now, all we have to do is just get an API key. So jump over to Zep. Okay, so it's just getzep.com. You get logged in. You do all the fancy stuff. Okay, now all we're going to do is just come over to projects. And basically, as you're making an account as well, it'll kind of guide you what to do. And all we're going to do is just create and add a key. So we add a key, we just call it 123 in my case. And we're going to copy that. We're going to jump back over to n8n. We're going to paste that in. And since we're using the cloud version in this case, we're just going to toggle on the cloud. Okay. If you're doing local hosting, well, obviously you're going to have your API URL in there. But for cloud, press that, you press save, and you're connected just like that. Okay. It is that simple. Now, for accessing your memories as well, we're going to jump back over to Zep. We're going to go to users, because it does get a little bit confusing. Because I'm thinking users as well, it's just going to show my account, but it's actually showing you memories as well. Now, if I go through my third one here, we can see main memory. Okay, so that's the one I was just using before. Now, that's where you can also see your graph right here. But if we just click on main memory in itself, we can actually see all the conversations happening, that I just went back and forth with as well. So after like 2,000 messages, yeah, you will go on a metered plan. But I mean, if you're within the 2,000 messages, and I mean, a lot of you are going to be, I feel as well, especially when, you could just make a new API key, a new account as well, and just use that, to be honest with you. Okay. But obviously in those cases, you cannot access your previous memory as well, your previous kind of little database there. So think about that. But in terms of price anyway, in my opinion, it's cheap, it's not expensive. Now, if you are interested in exploring more with n8n, or you might want to grab one of the several templates that I have here as well, you might just need a hand and a few questions to ask in the right place with the right people. Now, I'm here literally every single day of the week, and I mean, I can't even leave my computer at the moment, right? I'm doing client work, I'm doing the community, I'm doing the YouTube videos. I literally can't go anywhere at the moment, so I'm kind of forced and stuck here like, stuck in concrete kind of thing. But that's beside the point anyway. I'm just rambling on. But anyway, if I don't see you in the community, I'm sure I'm going to see you in the next video. See you then.